More cases with an unknown infection source have cropped up across the country. The CECC reported 56 local infections on Wednesday. About a dozen have no workplace or geographic connection to known patients.
The CECC says these cases are scattered widely throughout Taiwan and that it is time for the public to go on a heightened alert. With Tomb Sweeping Festival coming up, the CECC is asking people to take COVID precautions when visiting their ancestral graves.
There were more than 80 cases yesterday and Monday, but quite a few could be traced to industrial zones. The 56 cases today were relatively scattered compared to the ones in the past.
Taiwan's COVID spread is no longer limited to a few major clusters, the CECC said. Isolated cases are now cropping up across the country. So far, Keelung has been worst hit.
What we're discussing now is launching a program in Keelung that's similar to general screening, a sort of community screening.
In Keelung City, there's been outbreak after outbreak. 20 new cases were announced on Wednesday. None were connected to the pre-existing police station cluster or university cluster. Several were linked to a cluster at a local eatery.
10 cases were connected to the eatery. 3 of them involve family members of known cases.
The city had already closed down a university and high school after COVID cases were found there. On Wednesday, another outbreak triggered the closure of a junior high school. Outside of Keelung, cases were found in areas including Taidong, New Taipei, Taoyuan, Taichung, Jiayi, and Kaohsiung. The CECC said it was investigating up to 19 transmission chains for their source of infection.
昨天我们讲17条。
Yesterday, we mentioned that there were 17 transmission chains. We've merged 2 of the cases to previous clusters, 1 to the cluster in Sanchong and 1 to the cluster at the Keelung eatery. So that's -2. Then add 4 new unknown chains from today, and that's 19.
With Tomb Sweeping Festival up ahead, the CECC said no new restrictions would be imposed on upcoming activities, but it urged the public to go on a heightened alert.
Over the Tomb Sweeping Festival, I recommend that everyone follow the rules to a T. Wear a mask, wash your hands frequently, maintain a proper social distance with people outside of your regular circle, and avoid crowding. Basic steps like that. Severe cases account for a relatively low proportion of the total. I am like all of you. When you see dozens of cases, you get very anxious. I get very anxious too. You can be anxious, but don't let yourself be terrified.
With local cases on the rise, the CECC has decided against easing mask restrictions for karaoke parlors and restaurants for the month of April. It's asking the public to keep a face mask on to help prevent the spread of the virus.